Well, what up? And welcome to the 3-Minute Rise and Grind. I do apologize for my tardy. I'm a little bit tardy this morning because I was trying to figure out best practices as far as how to show you the strategic implementation plan on my iPad. We're starting to include various media, and it's going to get real very, very quick. So I was trying to figure out how best we could incorporate the iPad so that you can work along with me, even if it's not in real time, even if you're not here with me during the live broadcast and you want to follow along on your own time and pull this video from the IGTV feed, then you would have that means to do so. So I'm not really sure how this is actually going to work out, but I'm going to give it another whirl. So just hang on with me. It is 8:37. We will end promptly, you know the deal, at 8:46, 8:47. So just give me 1 second, and I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you have decided upon your line of business. Since I haven't received any suggestions for the line of business, we're going with a restaurant or a food truck, okay? And remember all the things that we started off with before. So let's get back into that so we are all on the same page. You remember this, right? This was our very first week, the line of business. First things first, second and third. Why do you think I had you going over this stuff, right? And then back to them statutes and then the reality check. So what you're going to see today is that we're literally starting our strategic implementation plan. And each week is what I've decided is each week we will just choose a different line of business. And we'll try to build upon that as much as we possibly can. Otherwise, what we will do is we will extend it for an additional 3 weeks, because the strategic implementation plan is a very, very involved process. And I have seen it done many ways. And you know, because I've told you that my training in strategic implementation plan was through the traditional academic process in my doctoral program for energy and environmental systems and economics. During that program, as a true economist, I didn't want to waste my time or waste my money. I wanted to inundate, maximize everything that I could get out of that program. And I had already finished all of my coursework within a semester and a half. So I had time, quote unquote. And this is not something that you necessarily need to do. It depends on your lifestyle, what your availability is, what sacrifices you have to make, how you can, how you learn, how you process information. This is my own kind of, for some people it's chaotic. For me, it's how I learn. I like to learn and get perspectives from every different kind of genre that would impact whatever I'm doing, because it just kind of scaffolds upon my learning. And some of you recall that, of course, my bachelor's degree is in traditional education, so agricultural education and environmental science. And so in that perspective, I, of course, learned how to be a teacher in the academic setting. And scaffolding was one of those kind of teaching techniques that really, really spoke to me. And scaffolding, as you can, you imagine where you scaffold, you build upon until you can get to your ultimately achieved goal. That's what I do. So if it has anything to do with what I'm learning, like in my case, that's the reason why law, and I've got this affinity toward law, because me being a scientist to my core, I realized very quickly that when I'm in rooms and trying to make decisions and planning, that economics comes in to play. And if you don't speak economics fluently, then you can kind of get left on the wayside. Likewise, law and policy comes into play. So that would be something that I would need to know. So I scaffold on economics and law. Okay, now, so with the strategic implementation plan for Sydney's Farm, I took, we'll jump back real quick. What I'm saying to you is that I, of course, took strategic implementation planning through the Department of, the Doctoral Studies Department of Leadership Studies. Okay, got it. All right, so we are going to, let's see if I can even, see if it will allow me. Just give me 1 second. Nope. If it does it, if it allows me to do what I think it's going to allow me to do, then I'm going to log out and we're going to pick back up in just 1 second. And that will actually afford us the opportunity to go 10 more minutes. All right, let's see if it will allow me to do what I think it will. No, well, that was odd. Some of you know, of course, that I have Eargasm Records. It just signed me into Eargasm Records, and it wasn't the plan. All right. Okay, so still doing it. Okay. Okay, so what I am going to do, because I think that it will allow me to do what I'm expectedly hoping for, is give me a second. I'm going to save this one. This is going to be an unusual kind of broadcast today. So just work with me. You know, I love the flexibility, so give me a little grace. And I'm going to sign back in here momentarily. And then you're going to be able to actually take a look at the beginning of our strategic implementation plan that we're going to create and build in Word. I decided to use Word because, of course, it is the most commonly used software or word processing program, and I wanted to make sure that it would be reasonably, accessible to just about everybody who puts their, their eyes on this feed. Okay, so give me a second. I will be back. I am saving this. This will be kind of like part 0.5, and then we'll continue. All right, see you in a second.